Hi, I'm Margaret, and thank you so much for joining me here on The Gardening Me. Today, I thought I would just bring you along as I harvest a few things. A couple of days ago, I started to harvest a few of the beans that were just coming in, and today I noticed that it's like an explosion in the bean patch. So I figured I would pick all of the beans that were ready, and I would also go through the garden and pick anything else that was ready to eat. Probably cucumbers. There's been an avalanche of cucumbers this year. So let's get going. So here's the bean patch. Ooh, the sun is bright. I probably should have worn my other hat, I'm thinking. And it is literally, you see that there? Bursting with beans. So I'm just going to start picking here and talk a little bit about the varieties as I go. So this one here is Maxi, and it's the earliest maturing variety that I have. I think the packet said 43 days. And I'll just put on the screen, I can't remember exactly when I sowed them. I'll put on the screen when I sowed them and how long it's been since that date to see how close we were. These I have been picking for a few days already. There's a lot to pick in here. So let me just show you what I have so far of these. So there you go. These I think are the ones where they said the beans develop kind of near the top of the plant, so they're easier to see. And yeah, they're pretty much on point in that. They are developing, although I do see ones further down as well. It is a bit of a jungle in here. I sowed 4 different varieties of beans here, and they were all relatively quick maturing. But one of the great things about the fact that they actually had maturity dates that were a little bit spread out was that I'm not going to be getting a huge harvest all at once. So if you want to preserve beans, freeze them, can them, then that's probably something you do want. So you would probably just plant a whole bunch of one particular variety, harvest it more or less all at once to preserve it. But in my case, I'm probably going to be having these fresh mostly. I don't think I'm going to be preserving a lot of them. I might freeze some, but that's about it. So I've finished harvesting most of the Maxi beans, and I already have this. That's a lot more than we need for one dinner. But the thing with beans is I don't want them to get overripe. So I'm going to go ahead and start harvesting from my next section, and this is Calima, and this is more of a fillet bean. I did pick some of these the other day, and some of the Maxi as well. I've never grown Maxi before either. And I cooked them up, and these were so delicious. They were so flavorful. But what I did notice is that these took a lot less time, well, a minute less. So for the Maxis, I cooked them for about 5 minutes. For these, 4 minutes, and they were perfect. So this is the Maxi, and this is the Calima. So there is quite the difference. The Maxi was delicious too. It was tender, delicious, stringless, but you know what? I really, really liked these. They were so good. When you're harvesting beans, you will have a lot of the immature beans kind of surrounding the mature bean that you want to pick here. So you have to go slow and be careful because it's very easy to cut off the mature bean as well as a whole bunch of immature beans at the same time. So this is what I've harvested from the Calima beans. Not as much, but the Calimas have just started. They're a few days later in terms of maturity than the Maxi. So I think they're in the 47, 48 day range. So I will put that on the screen once again. And now I'm going to go to the other side of the bed. When I was harvesting the Maxi and the Calima a couple of days ago, the other two varieties, there was really nothing ready to pick yet, but a couple of days can be a long time and make a big difference when it comes to beans. So I'm going to quickly go over those. I think I did see at least a strike, which is one of the other varieties I'm growing, that looked mature. So I'm going to take another peek. I did do a video on when I sowed these beans, and just to reiterate that these were sown in a 4x4 foot block, and each variety only received a 2x2 foot spot in there. I will link that sowing video below. So this is strike, and one of the things I did, I should find a better way of separating these when I'm growing different varieties like this so that I can more easily tell apart. I'm going to put the label right at the edge here actually, instead of in the middle where it gets lost amongst the foliage here. So, piece of grass shouldn't be here. A weed. These, I think I see a mature one right here. So this is strike, and I do recall that one of the varieties I'm growing is a shorter one, 4.5 inches, 5 inches long. I'm thinking that this might be it. So I'm going to just scour through here. I don't think many are ready yet. I'm just looking here, and it looks like most of them here. I'll just give you a quick look. Most of them are still like immature, but I may be able to get a few out of this patch right now. There's quite a few on this one particular plant. For some reason, it's matured a lot quicker than the other ones. This is strike. I haven't tasted this one yet, so I'll be interested to see how this one compares to the other two I've grown. And it's inevitable that you'll end up missing some beans, kind of like zucchini and cucumbers. It just kind of blends in with the foliage and you don't notice it until it's huge. I think this is about it for, here's another one, for strike. I say that, and then there's 10 more that I see. This is how much I harvested. So I'm thinking that's enough for a tiny side dish. Well, a tiny side dish for a couple of people, I guess. But that's not bad considering this little 2x2 foot spot had no harvestable beans only 2 or 3 days ago. So the last variety I'm growing is this one here, and this one is Jade. And I as well see some beans that I can pick. There you go. So this is Jade. I think this is probably, I'll double check the packet, but it looks like this is the latest maturing one, because I don't really, there's a couple more right there. I don't really see too many at all that are ready to pick. I think Jade is a pretty popular variety. I've heard about it for quite a few years, but I've never grown it. So when I saw it, I believe I got them from William Dam Seeds. When I saw it there, I thought I would pick it up and give it a try. So this is the bean harvest, the final bean harvest, and I kept the varieties separated. So up here is Maxi, And then down here is Strike. Over here is the Calima and the Jade, because I ended up mixing them up. I don't know what happened, but they looked very similar, and I only harvested a few pods from Jade, maybe a dozen or so pods from Jade. Anyhow, they ended up getting all mixed up in that. Later on in the week, I will pick individual pods and make sure I keep them separated and do a little bit of a taste test just to see how they all compare. Hi, future editing Margaret here. As it turns out, when I was editing this video, it was getting to be a lot longer than I had wanted. I was hoping to do just a quick harvest video, but I got rambling on about the beans and the different varieties I had and that kind of thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to split this video up into two instead of just having one super long video. So part one was all about the beans, but part two will be essentially everything else that I harvested on that afternoon. So that will be going up in another day or two, and I hope you join me then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.